Hello everyone, here's a short demo on how easy it is to run a single node Datera cluster in the Google Compute platform. We will also provision some volumes on the cluster and perform I/O on the file systems mounted on a Linux client. To get set up, we will want to install the gcloud SDK on a client. This allows us to use tools such as gsutil and gcloud that the Google platform provides to manage the infrastructure. To obtain the image, contact us at support@datera.io. The Datera app has a custom kernel. Due to this, we cannot use one of the stock kernel images that the platform provides. Instead, we will have to upload the Datera custom image to the cloud. In preparation for the demo, we pre-uploaded the compressed image to Google and used the gcloud utility to make the image available in the Datera gcloud project. As you can see, here we're going to demo the gcloud utility to verify that our image is present in Google. We also pre-created four 10 GB persistent SSD disks that we will use as storage for the Datera compute instance. To deploy the compute instance, let's use the gcloud utility. As you can see, we'll create a N1 standard 2 instance type that consists of 2 CPUs and 4 GB of RAM, and we will boot the image using a 64 GB SSD. We will also attach the 4 disks created earlier to this instance. Let's go ahead and run the command. While the instance is deployed, let's also make sure that the necessary ports that Datera needs are open in our firewall. Datera uses ports 3260 for iSCSI, ports 8500, 7800, 7717, and 7718 for its UI and API communication. There we are. As you can see, the instance is now running with an external IP that can be used for SSH access. For now, let's access the instance via serial console and watch it perform initial setup. This is seen on the bottom right screen. The image is pre-configured to run a startup script post-boot. This script learns the network configuration of the instance and uses that information to run a cluster initialization script that will form a one-node Datera cluster. Once complete, we'll observe the status of the cluster and ensure that it is in a healthy and running condition. As you can see, the cluster transitioned from initializing to running. Now that we have a running cluster, let's make sure we can access the UI. We log into the UI via the external instance IP over port 8500. As you can see, we have a running one node cluster with 36 GB of SSD storage. We are now ready to provision application instances and volumes. Rather than provisioning instances via the UI, let's switch over to a Linux CentOS client that is also running in GCP called Instance 5. We will demonstrate how easy it is to provision multiple instances on a Datera cluster using the Python SDK that is available on github.com/Datera. The GitHub package also contains a utility called Datera host utility that uses the SDK to provision volumes. We have already installed the necessary packages needed to run the utility. The command here will provision 6 5 GB volumes on the Datera cluster. It will use the client's IQN and add that as an ACL to each of the volumes. It will then log into the targets, format and partition the target block devices with XFS volumes. It will also pre-create ready-to-use FIO workload config files that can be used to drive I/O. That's pretty easy, huh? Okay, the provisioning is now complete, and let's use the mount command to verify that the volumes are mounted on the client. Let's open one of the pre-created sample 7030 read-write FIO config file to take a quick look at the configuration parameters. Each volume I/O will run with 4 jobs and a queue depth of 16 I/Os. As you can see, that we will kick off I/O on all the 6 volumes simultaneously. Okay, lastly, The I/O is now running to all the volumes, and we will watch the I/O with IOStat on the Datera cluster. Here are all the extend client devices that are configured on Datera with read-write I/O going to them. And on the bottom right side, we see the FIO I/O output as well. So there we are. Hopefully we have been able to demonstrate the flexibility and simplicity of the Datera software-defined platform and show how easy it is to run Datera in the public cloud. Running Datera in the cloud is the foundation to supporting cloud backup and replication use cases that are in the roadmap for the product. That's it for the demo. Thank you.